Welcome to the Government Dump, the show that lets you know what the government is thinking and when it's thinking so it won't get twisted. Right? Right. Let's get into this. All right. The first tweet of the morning is this was off on September 10th, so this isn't exactly breaking news, but it's close enough. I'm going to pause this because I am going to play this video. Breaking, the House Judiciary Committee just passed our bill to ban high-capacity magazines. Experts agree this is one of the most effective ways to protect our communities. If there was ever a bill Congress needs to act on now, it is this. Hashtag end gun violence. Hashtag enough is enough. And obviously, Diane DeJette is a who? Oh, yep. See? House Judiciary Democrats, House Democrats, and two others. She's a Democrat. That's probably safe to say. So let's go ahead and listen to this video, shall we? Yeah, it's roasting. I didn't need you to drift that far up.
The ayes have it, and the bill is amended as ordered reported favorably to the House. Members will have 2 days to submit views. The bill will be reported as a single. The bill is...
So there you are. These people they keep overlooking the obvious. There are so many different things to this issue that make it complex. There are so many different things that they tend to overlook, such as, yeah, I know, we keep saying this over and over again, and they keep trying to debunk it, but you cannot debunk the truth. You continue to control, firearms, the number of, rounds in a magazine, and so on and so forth. And people that are intent on doing harm to a bunch of people in a place, it doesn't matter how many gun laws you have out there. It doesn't matter how tightly you control firearms. Look at Chicago. Look at the gang problems in California. Look at any state in the United States that has heavy gun control, and you tell me how well that's working. And then it's not. Why? How many gang members are going to walk into a pawn shop or a gun shop and buy a gun legally? How many people intent on armed robbery, mass shootings, or, just crimes of passion in general are going to, buy a firearm through the legal channels? I'm sorry, but this, they keep overlooking that fact. They keep overlooking that fact over and over and over again. Okay, as of 6 hours ago from the National Hurricane Center, here are the 5 a.m. Saturday, September 14 key messages for Tropical Storm Humberto. Tropical storm force winds and heavy rainfall are expected over portions of the northwest. Oh, God, the poor Bahamas again. All right. Humberto will likely bring tropical storm force winds and heavy rainfall to portions of the northwestern Bahamas today. Significant storm surge is not expected in the northwestern Bahamas from the system. Residents there should follow any advice given by officials. Since the forecast track has shifted further east, the chance of heavy rainfall affecting the southeastern United States has diminished. So this is the updated thing they're doing here. So I was like, golly, boy, the Bahamas are getting it this year. It's like the criminals will... Yeah, exactly. The criminals will still be criminals. EU 2019 FI. Energy taxation discussed by EU finance ministers in Helsinki. The meeting was chaired by Finland's Minister of Finance. I'm going to click on this. Baby girl. Why is it you find the one thing I haven't thrown in the garbage yet and decide to rattle it? Huh? All right. On the second day... Oh, this doesn't fit. Okay, hang on. Of course not, because this thing is huge. Let me see if I can shrink it a little. Better. All right. Energy taxation discussed by EU finance ministers in Helsinki. On the second day of the informal meeting of ministers for economic and financial affairs, ECOFIN, I love that. Today, 14th of September, the ministers discussed energy taxation and also EU fiscal rules. energy taxation in support of climate action. Here we go. On the first day of their meeting, the EU member states' finance ministers had discussed how action on climate change could be taken forward within their sphere of responsibilities. On Saturday, 14th September, the second day of the meeting, the discussion on climate action continued when ministers discussed energy taxation. The European Commission has just published its evaluation of the Energy Taxation Directive. Super Ruby, yeah. The main themes that emerged in the discussions were competitiveness, climate change mitigation, the extent to which energy taxation is generally socially acceptable. Let me highlight that, read that shit again. Climate change mitigation and the extent to which energy taxation is generally socially acceptable. We all agree that energy taxation can be used to further the achievement of climate and energy objectives. I'm confident the outcome of our discussion will be taken into account if the decision is made to revise the Energy Taxation Directive, said Minister Lintilä, I guess. I know I mispronounced that. During its presidency of the Council, Finland is stressing the need for the EU to raise its profile as a global leader in climate action. The aim is to establish a long-term climate strategy for the EU that will enable it to become carbon neutral by 2050. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. It's already been proven that an all-electric car is worse for the environment than the internal combustion engines that we have now. So I don't understand. All right, here's some backgrounders. I love that. All right, shaping the reform. Finland will begin discussing the reform of energy taxation during the presidency of the Council of the EU. The discussion will begin at the informal meeting. Okay, we did this one. What is this shit? EU legislation on energy taxation needs to be revised in order to support climate change mitigation and the functioning of the internal market. Okay. Finland considers the reform of energy taxation important because the current energy taxation directive does not take into account the differences in emissions between different forms of energy and does not differentiate between renewable and non-renewable energy sources. Aha. This is not consistent with energy policy, which encourages the transition to renewable and other clean energy sources, nor does the directive cover new fuels or, for example, energy storage. Nope. She's whining. The Energy Taxation Directive currently sets minimum levels of taxation for different energy products. However, the minimum rates do not reflect any specific logic and are too low. Wow. Which means they do not encourage energy-efficient technology and emission-free activities. In addition, international aviation and maritime transport are exempt from fuel taxes. Because you can't come up with a practical fuel equivalent that gives the fuel efficiency for said things that you just mentioned. From the point of view of the internal market, it is problematic that there are divergent tax rates among member states and the minimum tax rates are low. Wow. Hi, MC. These differences may distort competition and erode the tax base in high taxing countries. Okay, first of all right, there's no way on God's green earth that anyone will ever be carbon neutral. Because, and I may be wrong, and they may prove me wrong, and if they prove me wrong, fine, I'll say I'm wrong. But as it stands now, there is not a practical alternative energy source that can efficiently propel semis, trains, airplanes, boats, and ships. Until you can find a viable alternative that is affordable for the aforementioned modes of transportation, you're not going to ever be able to be carbon neutral. It's impossible. And again, as I've already stated, it's already been proven that all electric cars are worse for the environment than what we're using now. Now, is what we're using now that great? You know, hybrid vehicles are all right. I mean, in terms of, you know, fuel efficiency and mileage and stuff, oh, they're great. But like I said, full electric cars, worse for the environment than internal combustion engines or hybrid engines. A solar-powered car is just not practical. They haven't been able to, you know, make the changes that they need to make or advance the technology on solar panels and converting solar to an alternate fuel source to make it a viable fuel source. So, I'm sorry, Minister Lentila, but no matter what you do, I don't think you're going to be able to be carbon neutral by 2050. I don't think that's, I think that's a pipe dream. All right, yesterday, our UK Prime Minister, or their UK Prime Minister, went to Doncaster and Sheffield to talk about how we can level up every corner of the UK with technology, education, and transport. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to back this up. Okay, it's unmuted. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I've been with our family since 1990.
Really?
Yeah.
So 100 years?
Yeah.
We're going to get a deal. Anyway. If we don't, we're coming out anyway. October the 31st. Better education, gigabit broadband, sprouting in every home, reliable, comfortable and affordable transport with someone accountable delivering your service.
Notice how he said with someone accountable delivering your service. Oh, I'm predicting a crackdown on Lyft and Uber in the good old UK. I think they're already doing that, but I think, you know, the screws are going to get even tighter.
These are the pumping pistons that will drive the Northern Powerhouse, and that Northern Powerhouse is turning before our eyes into a new locomotive for the UK economy. 2 centuries ago, this region literally became the engine that propelled the world to new discoveries and new horizons, bringing people together, bringing countries together, and bringing new opportunities for everyone. That is what the Northern Powerhouse can achieve in the 21st century, and this is a government that will back you to deliver.
I don't see any problems with what he said. He's delivering a message of hope, something that people can stand behind, something that people can look forward to. Some people have labeled him the UK version of Trump because, yes, he is hell-bent on leaving the EU October 31st with or without a deal. And I think it's going to happen without a deal because the EU has already said that the deal that May submitted, which is a piss-poor fucking deal, is non-negotiable. They won't change it. They've accepted it. They're not going to change it. You can't stop a part, right? So, yeah, the EU's like, we're taking May's proposal. We're accepting May's proposal. We've accepted it. We're not going to do any negotiations. We're not going to change it in any way. And this, you know, that's it. And here comes Boris, and he's doing all this stuff that's pissing off people. And the you even have Parliament that's trying to subvert what he's doing and trying to, you know, push all this other stuff through to undermine what he is trying to work for. All this fear-mongering going on about food shortages and things of that nature, when I've already discussed in previous news shows that they have got a backup plan. They have been putting money back in case of certain things popping up and, you know, certain problems presenting themselves. Boris has a backup plan. Boris has what you would call a cushion or a safety net of funds that he is planning on implementing if, you know, when the hard Brexit happens, because I'm saying when and not if, because the EU said they weren't going to negotiate. So it's going to have to be a no-deal hard Brexit. And, you know, he's got these things in place. He's got contingency plans. But Parliament doesn't have faith in him to implement these in such a way to make a no-deal Brexit work. And they're going against the people's vote because they don't want a Brexit. What did the majority of the UK vote for? A Brexit. These people are going to get in trouble. I swear to God, these people are acting just like our government, except, UK version. Tropical storm Humberto, advisory 7A, center of Humberto passing just east of Great Abaco Island. Yes, that's the Bahamas again. Oh, the poor Bahamas. I just say if anybody's going to go there for vacation, you might want to reconsider. Morning, Unchained. So there's Humberto right there. Tropical storm, click for details. So we're clicking this for details. So we covered this in an earlier tweet, but these are the projected paths. So it looks like it's going to miss us. Most of it's going to miss us anyway. Backing this up, there's also a disturbance over here with a 10% chance of a cyclone forming in the next 48 hours. And it is, let me see if it tells me where it's going. Over the... So being low pressure in the area. Slow development of the system is likely during the next couple of days. Okay, it's not telling me where it's going. Formation. Okay, so we've got, and these three out here. Bunk and bunk. So we still, we're still well into hurricane season. And over here off the, off Central America, we have Kiko. And Kiko is west at 9 knots at 10 miles an hour. So if it continues west, it's going to go away from North America. So we don't have to worry about Kiko. Global climate warning change, right? There's also another disturbance over here, and then there's one over here. So there's plenty going on in terms of, our hurricane season this year. But there haven't really been, other than Dorian. I think there's been less major hurricanes this year than there have been in previous years. And last but not least, U.S. Department of Interior, living thousands of years, bristlecone pines in Great Basin NPS. Don't let Friday the 13th. This was taken yesterday. So here is your national park picture of the day. And that's another video down. If you liked it, there's this. If you didn't like it, there's that. There's a subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. If you're not sure, there's more content you can watch before you make that all-powerful decision of clicking the red bell and making it go dark. There's also a bell that's just about as fickle as a pregnant woman in a candy aisle. She's got a craving, or she's hungry, and because it only works whenever it feels like it. But the bell's there. In the description below is all the ways that you can support this channel, as well as links to blogs and other channels and so on and so forth. So, until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.